So that's, well, core ideas within EasySOA. So now that you know a bit better about what it's about, let's see what's behind EasySOA, who's the right people that we think are going to answer that. So our partners are in relapse that are providing the heterogeneous service engine FraSCAti. That's SCA compatible, which is standard that can describe any SOA, pretty useful. EasiFab, that's a startup that's got out from in-real labs in Grenoble, and that's going to provide work on SOA modeling with Eclipse SOA and monitoring along with Jasmine. So we've got Dutoo, which will provide SOA administration and monitoring, technical and business, with OW2 Jasmine, and work along with other partners on use cases. You've got Talend, that's working on SOA and data connectors to connect both to existing business services, but also provide things around the connection to existing data. And we've got Nuxeo, who's providing a document management platform, I was talking about documents, to manage the SOA model, documents, and artifacts. So, oh yeah, you've got OpenWide. That's me. Sorry. Yeah, that's we're trying to put that all together and to implement a further full development chain using Eclipse Java workflow tooling and the OW2 implementation on top of Bonita and FraSCAti. It's scalable, so make a scalable 2.0 or 2.1 later. To fulfill the dream of being agile from a design to a runtime sequence of SOA process. So, yeah, SOA is not only for technical people, because yes, business users don't like, services, they don't even know what it is, they don't want to know. But actually, when one service is down and they can't use their application, well, suddenly they're very interested. So I think if they had these green and red lights, they don't need to know what services. But these red and green lights, you name that otherwise, and they're really happy to have them. They're also interested because that's something that allows them to evolve or develop new features. Business users all times want new features. That's that's some kind of a constant. And they all the time think that IT is not doing everything that it can. Why can't you provide this new feature? Well, because we are trying to provide this other feature that you asked us before. Well, I know, but well, okay, so what about providing them better visibility on how IT answers or not their business needs? And that's a very pregnant need in enterprises. No more IT as a black box. That doesn't mean to talk technology to business users, but that means actually better aligning IT on business needs. And that's a world trend, like a service provider and consumer in the IT industry. But we think that SOA is a mean to this end because of this collaborative process, because of bringing services up in a documentation platform that's better than Eclipse for business users. So we're trying to be the central hub, not as a service bus, but as a service mindshare bus, as a kind of everybody shares the same vision on these capabilities that some are developing and others are using to actually do their work. EasySOA Core is just the base for that. And that is, rather than a formal, constrained, heavy process of SOA evolution and changes, provide the tools and place for informal social collaboration around services and information about them. And that for the most technically savvy of them even allows mockups, mashups, prototyping in a sandbox and monitored manner. And that's what we call EasySOA Lite. You've got EasySOA Core about collaboration and EasySOA Lite about trying things out. And for the first one, we're using OW2 Nuxeo, and for the second one, we're using OW2 FraSCAti. So why OW2 Nuxeo as service register? Well, Nuxeo is a collaborative document management platform, so you've got collaboration here. I've already decided SOA is actually first about documenting services. So, well, Nuxeo should be perfect. Moreover, it's got an extensive model. You could put your own kind of SOA information on services. It's got document classification. You can relate services with business users. You can have virtual trees showing different point of views to different kind of actors, business, technical. It's collaborative. You've got comments, workflows. You can even preview documents like WSDS and annotate them. And you've got overall easy access using either user interface or APIs, either technical or in the field of content and document. And Talend's going to integrate with Nuxeo. Second, why OW2 FraSCAti for EasySOA Lite? Well, I've already said that its model is using the SCA standard. So a few words about the SCA standard. SCA stands for Service Component Architecture. So it's like, what are the services you're using, and what are the services they do need to work? That's like kind of remote service dependencies injection, remote Spring, remote DI. And moreover, SCA is a heterogeneous standard. It's extensible. You could support any kind of protocol, data kind, so it can describe any possibly existing SOA without saying anything about its running on IPM or Jonas or whatever, or Pythons. And secondly, FraSCAti is a middleware of middlewares. So yes, it can handle all protocols like SOAP, REST, JMS, all languages, classical Java, all kinds of scripts, and frameworks like OSGI Spring for the most, none of them all. And lately, in part because of us, it's going towards more scripting with JavaScript, velocity templates, all kind of scripts like Pinch. Modularity, that's thanks to OSGI, it's ongoing. That's FraSCAti on demand. You can deploy only parts of them, only support for certain technologies, and towards the cloud. And you've got FraSCAti in the cloud conference this afternoon, so I'm not gonna say anything more about the topic. You can go there and have a look. And finally, EasySOA architecture looks like that. You've got Nuxeo in the center with the SOA model. You've got FraSCAti, which is, well, underneath it all. You've got a light prototyping platform. You've got the core module and synchronizing layer. And you've got plugins for everything traditional SOA, like Eclipse, like J2EE, etc. So a few technical details about FraSCAti and Nuxeo. Yes, that's not that easy because these two platforms are integrating the whole world. You've got, I don't know, more than 100 conflicting dependencies. Well, not conflicting, but in different versions. So it depends how you deploy them. But if you've got a single class path, you're in for a single class loader. You're in for a lot of hurt. And one of the first things that we tried was SOA composite parsing using FraSCAti within Nuxeo. SOA composite parsing, that works well, okay? But when you want to try what you've parsed, when you want to start what you've parsed as a FraSCAti component, well, it doesn't work anymore. You've got conflicts on things like OSGI core, JDT core, so it's not good news, but you've got some good news, however, like, well, both FraSCAti and Nuxeo are getting OSGI-fied in the process of it and already partly there. And on the other way, in EasySOA, we are only started first line of code in March, but we've already an emerging EasySOA API that's Nuxeo free. So what we're able to do is actually start an OSGI kernel within Nuxeo, since Nuxeo is not yet fully OSGI. We start an OSGI container within Nuxeo. And within that, we start the parts of FraSCAti that are already OSGI-fied. And that's enough for us. And how does FraSCAti talk again to Nuxeo? Well, using our decoupled EasySOA API that's not directly tied to Nuxeo, and which can be implemented either on Nuxeo or possibly remotely. And that's another kind of use case. So that's how we are gonna do it. Actually, for now, we're not yet doing it. INRIA is doing that using a Nuxeo ID. But there are already some things that work. And one thing that works is, yes, what we call service discovery by architecture import. So, yes, service discovery is very important. After all, we're discovering using listening to changes by scraping web pages. Well, you can also import architectures such as SCA designs, SCA components. So we first implemented it using parsing SCA as mere XML. It worked, no dependency to FraSCAti. But by getting FraSCAti in, well, we can get full error checking and full support for all protocols that FraSCAti supports. So that's very interesting. And it works, actually, by parsing using an embedded FraSCAti within Nuxeo. And we can actually use both kinds of parsing with some kind of interface that we call bounding info provider. In a second step, we actually try to service discovery startup of a remote FraSCAti runtime. That's not import anymore. That's runtime discovery. That's making FraSCAti a compatible runtime with EasySOA. The idea is when you start a FraSCAti application or integration somewhere, well, you've hooked in it the fact that it's gonna ring to EasySOA to say, hey, I've just started that, and you've got some kind of lights here showing up. And that's both a kind of discovery and a kind of, when I say that, runtime support. So we've done that by replacing our local implementation of the EasySOA API by a remote implementation. And it works well also. And the last thing that doesn't work yet, that's precisely that doing the same thing within Nuxeo. And what's it useful for? Well, it's useful for EasySOA Live. Do you remember this prototyping platform? We did a documentation platform. That's OW2 FraSCAti within Nuxeo. And that's what we're about to achieve thanks to modularity and OSGI. Hopefully next month it's going to be okay.